Think dinosaurs were old? Horseshoe crabs have actually been around longer. They are the last living fossils on Earth and have remained the same for over 350 million years. Of the few remaining species, 90% of one type is found living along the mid-Atlantic coast in the U.S. In the spring, the world's largest concentration of breeding horseshoe crabs is found at the Delaware Bay on the southern coast of New Jersey. The horseshoe crabs congregate on the shore at high tide to spawn, and females lay thousands of eggs. Though there are many babies, predation and desiccation significantly reduce numbers. If they do make it to the ocean, horseshoe crabs survive on mollusks, annelid worms, and other invertebrates. These creatures are a keystone species in this ecosystem because they are an important food source for sea turtles and migratory shorebirds like the red knot. A keystone species has a disproportionately large effect on its environment relative to its abundance. The red knot is a large sandpiper that makes one of the longest bird migrations. Every year, these birds stop at the Delaware Bay to feed on crab eggs before continuing their journey. Loggerhead sea turtles, which are currently endangered, depend on the adult horseshoe crabs for food. In the 1960s, horseshoe crab blood, which is blue, was found to identify the presence of bacterial contamination. Medical companies began using this blood to make sure medical procedures were free of bacteria. The blood ensures that humans are protected and has led to a $50 million industry that requires 250,000 horseshoe crabs a year. Trawlers collect the crabs from the bay, take them to the lab, and draw 30% of their blood. Scientific research has shown that the mortality rate of this process is 10 to 15%. This amounts to almost 40,000 dead horseshoe crabs a year. The industry does this 3 or 4 times a year, though it takes months for a single horseshoe crab to recover. Blood loss leads to increased susceptibility to infection and predation, further increasing the death toll. Fishermen use the crabs as bait to catch eel and conch, which they sell at a high market rate overseas. Together, the medical and fishing industries have caused huge declines in the horseshoe crab population in the Delaware Bay. How has the decline of this keystone species affected the ecosystem? Potentially in a trophic cascade. A trophic cascade occurs when a change in the abundance of a key species in one trophic level produces dramatic effects in the other trophic levels of the ecosystem. In this case, a loss of horseshoe crabs today could result in the loss of red knots and sea turtles tomorrow. In 2005, this trend was seen with the red knot population, which significantly decreased as the horseshoe crab population dwindled. Eventually, the red knot became the most endangered species in the U.S., and conservation groups pushed to ban horseshoe crab harvesting and to list the crabs as critically endangered. After much debate, the New Jersey Senate successfully passed a moratorium in 2008 to ban crab harvesting. While New Jersey has been strict about these quotas, many other states' efforts have fallen short. The horseshoe crab population has since stabilized, but numbers are still too low for comfort. Hurricane Sandy also made things worse when it hit in October 2012. 50% of the horseshoe crab habitat in the Delaware Bay was destroyed by the superstorm. In January 2013, a bill to overturn the ban on harvesting was introduced in the New Jersey Senate. At the moment, the bill hasn't passed, but if it does, this ecosystem will be in big trouble. The combination of overharvesting, efforts to overturn the moratorium, and Hurricane Sandy has put tremendous pressure on this species. Extinction is very possible, so developing alternative sustainable harvesting methods is imperative. One such method could be farming crabs to avoid the ecological damage from wild harvesting. The beaches destroyed by Sandy could also be restored. Immediate change is needed to support horseshoe crab populations, and if we don't intervene soon, we may lose horseshoe crabs and the important benefits they provide forever.